reports. Bill? Public Works.
Yes, I just have a couple of things with regard to the roads. I met last week with representatives of Bay Construction and Turnpike, and they are committed to, they've wrapped up their contract over in Donald. They had some minor paving to do, asphalt paving. But we looked at Sherlock Circle, a portion of which they used as access into their work zone. And I've asked them to do full depth pavement repairs. I have that on my in-house program. It's a circle, and it was on our schedule for repair this year. They're going to do the full depth base repairs for us. And then we moved over to Dover Drive, just off of 980. And they've committed to doing select base repairs, scratch leveling, repaving, wedge curbs into the inlets over there also. This work will, of course, start once the plants open up for the season. These are two roads that were basically non-bondable roads. What we did to start the work was had them videotape the roads and the conditions that they were prior to the start of construction. We went back and determined that there was some cupping and some damage done because of the way of the vehicles, and they have gotten on board with the repair of those two roads for us. The only other thing I want to bring to the board's attention is we're at our winter season right now. To date, I've had two all crew call-outs, which is unheard of for where we're at in the season. Under the purchasing contract for salt, we estimate every year that we'll be around 4,000 tons with our purchase. To date, and we're required to purchase 60% of that, which is 2,400 tons. To date, all we purchased is 600 tons. So we still have 1,800 ton out there that we're going to have to purchase and put somewhere. That's the only reason I bring this up, is I have no place to put that. So with a little luck, we'll get some snow. We'll use a little bit more of it. But right now, I'm trying to figure out a place to put the salt because it's a sizable amount. I will get back to the board at a later date. Next board meeting, I should have a better idea of where we stand with our purchase requirement for the remaining balance of that salt. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. Engineers report, Dan.
Members of the board, just two things I'd like to review with you tonight. This is Mike Collette from our office. Mike is the project manager who's helping out with the Park Bridge project. And as everybody knows, the township was fortunate enough to get the LSA grant for the township bridges. And then Bill Boderoff set up a meeting with Conspan right after the meeting last month to talk to them about the availability of prefabricated bridges to construct in the park. So before we got too far along with everything, I thought I'd just bring this to the board's attention. And typically with bridges, you talk about type, size, and location of the bridges. So I think we'd just like to get consensus that we're on the right path on the board tonight before we proceed any further with anything. So this is the map of the park. As you can see, the township building here is to the right in the parking area. We're calling this bridge number 1. This is bridge number 2, bridge number 3, and bridge number 4. So right out of the gate, the proposal is to eliminate bridge number 2. Or, I'm sorry, bridge number 3, which is right here. And the idea then would be to make bridge number 1 the bridge that has ADA access. The township forces would be making the connection to make sure that that meets ADA requirements. And then bridge number 4 would be the bridge that could carry vehicles. That's going to be just wide enough for vehicles and be sized that it could take like a small pickup truck over it, so that township maintenance forces could get on the other side of the creek.
Yeah, I want to make it clear. I think we need to make it clear. There was a misconception in our past meetings. The purpose of that bridge that is carrying vehicles isn't for just the average person to drive around. Because somebody approached me and said, well, now you're gonna have cars driving through the park. That's not it at all. It's so that our public works can get over there as they need to service the miners pavilion. I would imagine that we would be willing to make exceptions for people who are handicapped if we've made prior arrangements with the township. But as a general rule, it will not be just open so that anybody can drive through there.
Dan, and that, on this drawing, it's not the miners pavilion. I think that's incorrect across from Bridge 4.
Yeah, that's, you are
That's
correct.
pavilion number 3.
That's pavilion number 3. I got an old map up on the
Okay.
screen. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, the miners'
Miners pavilion's on the other side,
pavilion is actually located,
between 2 and 1,
Yeah,
between bridges
between
2
1
and
and
1,
2.
on, close to them.
so that's the proposal. 3 bridges, eliminate the 1 bridge. This would be ADA access, this would be vehicle access. So that's the number of bridges. The proposal from Conspan is to provide a Corten steel bridge with a wood deck. The Corten steel doesn't need painted. It's durable. They're using it on a lot of the trail bridges. I think I think in the correspondence that I sent to the board, I gave some visuals of some finished bridges related to that. So that's the proposal on the type of bridge. And then the other good part about this is that with Conspan, they are on the CoStars project, so the bridges can be purchased directly by the township without any contractor markup, and then the township could just put the construction of the abutments and the installation of the bridges out for bid. So that's really, in essence, we just wanted to bring that to your attention tonight. There's a number of things that would need to be done before we got to that point. There needs to be some survey work out there to get some good elevations. We have to apply for some permits. There's Chapter 105 GP11 permits for crossing the creek. And then, of course, put bid documents together and put it out to bid. So that's the update on the report, and if there's any questions.
Bill, we still plan on using the bridges that we went out and looked at?
No.
Right?
No.
They're good, they're rated at 25 tons.
Yeah.
I'd like to take this time to thank Supervisor Fisher for stepping up to the plate, doing the legwork, and giving the presentation for applying for the LSA grant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just, Ron, the 2 out of the 3 bridges are going to be pedestrian. They'll only be 6 feet wide, and then the 3rd bridge will be 12 feet.
Right.
Little ones don't need to be.
How many tons are going to hold it?
I think it was like 10 ton was the max on that one.
Yeah. The big difference with these bridges is the span. The minimum span right now that we're looking at is 70 feet, but we'll determine that in the field work with the engineer over there. We're trying to get the abutments out of the stream. So that was one of the considerations when we started looking at these structures. How do we get the abutments out of the stream? And we increased the span length on. And Rich Hill, who's an engineer with Conspan, gave us the details on doing so. So that's, and again, once you do that, you start to minimize the scar that takes place in the stream, from the stream at the base of the abutment. So, and I failed to mention this. Last week we met with the representatives from CalU, and those are the folks that are going to do the stream improvement project over there. And they're looking at a early fall start, which will be right after the fall festival. They tell us that they'll need 5 to 6 weeks time to complete the work that they have to do with the mud sills and the rock veins and stuff like that they have planned over there. And I have some crews over there right now doing some advanced work that we've identified on our tour with them. And one thing I do want to mention, in the past I've talked to the board about identifying and placing a handicap access area for folks in wheelchairs to fish from in the stream. We've identified that same area that I think I previously mentioned to everyone. Just across bridge number 1 on the left-hand side, the folks from CalU were excited about it, and they are going to do the work at no cost to the township. They'll put the seawall in and stuff like that. We'll do the paving and the well behind it. So.
Okay.
Cindy, just one more update, just to expand upon what Bill said. There was a meeting with the township, our office, and Bill with CalU and representatives of PennDOT. PennDOT is proposing to do in-stream improvements to Miller's Run through the township park. They have to do that as a part of their pollution reduction plan. The good news is that Mike found out that we can both take credit, PennDOT can take credit and the township can take credit for that improvement. So money the township would add to spend on stream improvements is going to be completed by PennDOT. It's in planning this year, depending upon grant funding that they get, so we're not sure it'll happen this year, but nonetheless, we'll work with them and the bridge project can proceed irrespective of that.
Okay, thank you.